Happy Wednesday, fellow dreamers. 8 days ago, on a Tuesday, I saw Maria Goretti's relics here in Tulsa. And it was awesome. The relics came to the Cathedral of the Holy Family, and we had a mass jam-packed full of people, so full that I stood in the back. Saint Maria Goretti is a very young saint. She was just 11 when she died. She grew up in a poor farming family. Her family lived on a plot of land that belonged to somebody else, and they were allowed to stay so long as they produced a certain amount of food that they would give over to the landlord. Anything above and beyond that amount was what they could live off of. So, with a lot of hard work, they were able to live there. Then, Maria's father fell sick and died of malaria. This meant that Maria's mother, Assunta, needed to do more field work, and so Maria took over some of the household chores. In fact, most of the household chores. She took care of all the sewing and the cooking and the cleaning and watching over the youngest Goretti. That actually is a detail that strikes me. Look how much responsibility Maria had even before she was a teenager. How often does that sort of thing happen nowadays? Maria is such a great example of a meshing of youth and responsibility that I personally wouldn't expect to see very often. So one day, when Maria was 11, she was sewing alone in the house, and Alessandro, the neighbor boy, knew that she was alone and came over. He was 19 and wanted to sleep with her. She refused, even when he threatened to stab her. And so Alessandro attacked Maria, stabbing her a total of 14 times before he ran away. Shortly after, Maria's mother and Alessandro's father found Maria bleeding on the kitchen floor and rushed her to the nearest hospital. They did not use anesthesia, but they did perform surgery on her to try to save her. But it was too late. Maria Goretti died about 24 hours after Alessandro had attacked her, saying that she wanted Alessandro to be with her in heaven. It was July 6th, 1902. So at this mass with Maria's relics, Father told the story of Maria Goretti's life, and also he told this little story that happened 27 years later. Alessandro was arrested and imprisoned for 27 years for the crimes that he committed. And when he was released from jail, he went to Assunta, Maria's mother, to ask for forgiveness. Now, a little further context, Assunta had of course suffered a lot at the hands of Alessandro. Not only was Maria dead, but also because Maria wasn't able to help with household chores anymore, Assunta wasn't able to support her family. And Assunta had to give away the rest of her children for others to take care of. But she said to Alessandro, "God has forgiven you. Maria has forgiven you. How could I not forgive you?" Forgiveness is so powerful, and something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. Father invited us in the congregation to remember some of those that we're struggling to forgive in our own lives, and let those things go. Bring those things to Maria, and ask her to bring those things to Jesus, and ask for help. Also, he talked about self-forgiveness. Imagine Alessandro. Here was a man that killed an 11-year-old girl. That's an event in his life that would never be forgotten. We still remember that event today. Imagine how an event like that could drive a man into a lot of guilt and depression. But it doesn't look like that's how Alessandro's life went. Alessandro became a monk, and at the end of his life, in his will, he called Maria his light, his protectress, and his guardian angel. So one huge takeaway for me personally from this visit of Maria Goretti's relics has been thinking about self-forgiveness. I've been thinking about the many times that I go to confession and some of those things that I confess over and over again. Not to go into details, because really I'm not going to talk to you about my confession life, but some of these things I wonder, why do I keep confessing the same things over and over again? Why can't I just eradicate these things from my life? And this thought of self-forgiveness gave me a lot of light. Confession is powerful. It's a promise from God that he forgives me for these things that I've done wrong. But when I bring these things to confession, and when God forgives me, do I also forgive myself? If I'm not able to let go of these things, how am I going to be able to move on past them? After Mass, I had a chance to see Maria Goretti's relics up close and personal for about 15 seconds because, there were a lot of people that wanted to do that. And in those 15 seconds, I asked Maria to help my viewers and me with purity. There's that prayer for you. Guys, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed learning about Maria Goretti, perhaps you'll enjoy my video about Pope Francis. You can find the link by clicking the upside down exclamation point up there. And with that, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. I will see you all next Wednesday. God bless and ciao.